Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Tales, where we dive into some of the coolest stories from history. Today we're traveling back over 4,500 years to ancient Egypt to talk about something truly incredible: the building of the Great Pyramids of Giza. You've probably seen pictures of these giant stone structures, but how much do you really know about how they were built? How did people thousands of years ago, without cranes, trucks, or electricity, manage to construct something so massive that it still stands today? Stick around to find out. You're going to be amazed. To understand the pyramids, we need to go back to around 2600 BCE, during what's called the Old Kingdom of Egypt. This was a time when Egypt was ruled by powerful kings, or pharaohs, who were seen as both leaders and living gods. And when these pharaohs died, they needed a special resting place that would last forever. Enter the Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu. It's the biggest of all the pyramids and one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. So, how big is the Great Pyramid? Get this, it was originally 146.6 meters tall. That's about 480 feet, or roughly as tall as a 40-story building. And it wasn't just tall, it was made up of 2.3 million blocks of stone. Each block weighed around 2.5 tons on average. That's about the weight of a small car. Some stones were even heavier, up to 80 tons. It's hard to imagine moving something that heavy today, let alone 4,500 years ago, right? But here's the real question. How did the Egyptians move these gigantic stones? That's a mystery historians and scientists have been trying to figure out for a long time. One popular theory is that they used ramps. Imagine a huge ramp made of mud and stones that would lead up to the pyramid. Workers could then drag the stones up the ramp using wooden sledges. They probably wet the sand in front of the sledges to make it slippery, which made pulling those heavy stones a bit easier. Now let's bust a big myth. Contrary to popular belief, the pyramids were not built by slaves. For a long time, people thought slaves were forced to build these structures, but that's just not true. In fact, archaeologists have found evidence of workers' villages nearby. The workers were paid laborers, and many of them were farmers who helped build the pyramids during the Nile's flooding season when they couldn't farm. These workers were fed, given shelter, and they took great pride in their work. So instead of thinking of the pyramids as monuments built by slaves, think of them as massive community projects where thousands of skilled workers came together to create something amazing. Now let's take a look inside the Great Pyramid. It wasn't just a giant pile of rocks. It's actually a carefully designed structure. Inside there are 3 main chambers: the King's Chamber, where Khufu's body was supposed to be buried; the Queen's Chamber, though we're not sure exactly what it was used for; and the subterranean chamber deep below the pyramid. The King's Chamber is where the Pharaoh's sarcophagus, that's the fancy stone coffin, one was placed. But here's something strange. No one has ever found Khufu's body. Was his tomb looted? Was he buried somewhere else? We still don't know. It's one of the great mysteries of the pyramids. But why go through all the trouble of building something so huge? For the ancient Egyptians, the pyramids were much more than tombs. The pyramid shape symbolized the rays of the sun, which they believed the pharaoh would climb to reach the afterlife. The Egyptians thought that after death, their pharaohs would join the gods in the heavens. So, building a grand pyramid wasn't just about protecting the pharaoh's body, it was about helping him make his journey to the stars. Here's another cool fact. Khufu's Great Pyramid isn't alone. His son Khafre built the second pyramid, and it looks almost as big. Khafre also built the famous Great Sphinx, that giant statue of a lion with a human head that guards the pyramids. And then there's Menkaure, who built the third, much smaller pyramid. It's tiny compared to the other 2, but still impressive. Together, these 3 pyramids form the iconic Giza Plateau, which has been visited by people from all over the world for thousands of years. It's mind-blowing to think that these pyramids have stood tall through thousands of years of history, wars, earthquakes, and even the rise and fall of entire civilizations. They were built by people with nothing but hand tools and pure determination. And here we are, thousands of years later, still in awe of what they achieved. Just think about that. Thousands of people came together, worked for years under the hot sun, and created something that still stands today. It's a reminder of how powerful human creativity and that's the story of how the Great Pyramids of Giza were built. A combination of clever engineering, hard work, and a deep belief in the afterlife. Whether it's the mystery of how they moved those stones, the purpose behind the chambers, or the fact that Khufu's body was never found, the pyramids continue to fascinate us. So what do you think? Could we build something like this today with the technology we have? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to your channel name, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on more amazing history stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.